Hey, welcome back to the homestead. It feels like it's been forever and a day since I have gotten on here and shared things that are happening here on the homestead. So much has changed. So let me go ahead and give you a tour of our North Idaho homestead from scratch and from the repurposed homestead. So I'm up here on Eggs and Bacon Hill where we have our pigs and our chickens and new additions of turkeys, and then we also have our bunnies over here as well, and some other new additions. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around and I will show you what we've got going on here. Okay, not a lot has changed with our egg layers and our rooster Tony. We lock them up at night, and then after I feed them, I let them out, or Thomas does that. We've got a broody hen. Oh, she's up now. Oh, good. Not so broody hen, but we're also working on keeping them enclosed in here for longer because they've been making us play an egg hunt for their eggs. And then here is Ham and Bacon, and they are getting humongous. Look at these big piggies. Hi, boys. We've got them for about 3.5 more weeks, and then they are going to get processed. So they have been such a joy. They've got their mud pit and their huge expanded area. They free feed. We've got waters for them. They've got their fun little area. Okay, and then we got turkeys. Oh my gosh. So we built a turkey tower for them, and they will have an ability to go out and roam around in a little enclosed area that we have for them, but we want them to find their home first. So they are just in their little 6x6 turkey tower that was built from all repurposed materials that we had laying around the homestead. So the previous owners left this door in the shed, weird, but we use it, and it is massively heavy. And then some 2x4s that I picked up a while ago from somebody else's backyard. And then we had a delivery of a ton of cedar boards from someone taking down their fence. They brought them all over, gave them to me for free, and I just gave them $20 for gas for delivery. So here's our turkey tower. It has chicken wire up at the top for their ventilation, and also so they don't escape like they tried to the first night we had them. But there they are. I got them as this age already. We've had them for about a week and a half, or just a week. And 2 toms and 2 hens is the plan, and one of them is Thanksgiving, and then the other 3 are going to be homestead staples. And then we hatched some of our chicken eggs. So we have a homestead, we have homestead chicks in here that they are all from our rooster, which is a black copper Marron, and then we have Leghorn, other Marrons, Easter eggers, and blue and green whitings in here. So it looks like we've got at least 4 roosters that are going to need to be rehomed, and then we've got our hens in here that when they get old enough, they will then get to go and cohabitate with the big girls and Tony. I am tempted to keep the Leghorn Marron rooster, which is Sally's rooster. And then we've got our buddies that are still just doing what they're doing, digging holes, being cute and fun, and just being a pleasure to have, and further encouraging me to want to do something with Holly and her meatiness. And then we got our meat chickens. Oh my gosh, you guys, goal achieved. I've always wanted to do meat chickens. Wasn't sure how we were going to do it at our last property, but now we've got all of this space, and we built a couple of chicken tractors, one for the hatchlings, and then here's for the meaties. We have 25 meaties in here, and it looks like they need some more food, so I gotta feed them this morning. They are almost 3 weeks old, or actually they are 3 weeks old now, and they are just such a pleasure to have around. They're so much fun. So we just got these tractors that we're going to be moving around over here so they could get out, be on some fresh ground, wander around, and then still get their feed that we are giving them. Okay, and then let me flip the camera around because I got to tell you guys what's up next. I have been hard at work building garden boxes and a garden fence and planting in a bunch of our food crops in the garden area space. So this, the garden area has evolved greatly, especially since I did our first homestead tour with the plans and vision that I had for it. It has changed and morphed since then. And so now we have a more clear line and idea of what we are doing with our space for growing our crops. So let me take you over there and show you what we've got going on. So we decided to just fence off the back section of our homestead and have this whole back area be the dedicated garden space. But over here first are my raspberries. I'm gonna build another one of these and put it about right here, and that is gonna be where our blackberries are gonna go. But you guys, look at these raspberries. Don't they look fantastic? So the plan next is to drill some holes and get some wire across the bottom or the middle rung and the top rung to act as supports there for the raspberries. But they're starting to get ready to have some fruit. So we've got 3 different kinds of raspberries in here. I have Heritage and Gold, and then a Caroline Red. So we've got 2 reds, 2 golds, and then another red. And I'll probably end up building another one to go in front right here, and we'll have another set of raspberries there. So let's go ahead over and take a look over at the garden. All repurposed free materials that I have picked up over the time that we've been here, with the exception of the black paint for this fence. So, oh, and then I also bought the little solar lights for the top. Cedar fence boards, I painted those black for the rails, and then the posts were some posts that I found for free off of Facebook Marketplace. And then we have this opening here that is wide enough for our tractor to get through, and I will build a gate there for it at some point. Not sure when or how, but it's gonna go there. So far right now, we've got all of the garden over here on the left side, and I am working on building a garden bed along the fence line here. That's what the cardboard is down for, and just finding some logs on the property to kind of help line that. And everything, with the exception of some of my onions, are growing super well, even though I wasn't too thrilled with the soil that I had gotten delivered. So along here we've got some fruit. We've got blueberries and a rhubarb, and then a couple of cherries, and then more blueberries along there. I planted up a couple of beds the other day, which probably was not a great idea because we're looking at nearly 100 degrees. But I've got some squash and beans and pumpkins and whatnot in there. So if they work, they work. If they don't, oh well. And then in these 2 pots, I've got broccoli and then some of our Goldie ground cherries in here that are getting ready to be ready to harvest pretty soon. This broccoli has done amazing in this heat. It's the same broccoli that I grew last year when we had a huge heat wave, and it did fantastic there as well. And then we've got 14 of our boxes. So we've got potatoes, and then onions and shallots. I've got a pole bean TP over there, and then these are our tomatoes. I've got, what do I have in here? I have cherry tomatoes and Amish paste tomatoes with some basil. And then I have some Iron Lady slicing tomatoes with basil in this one. And then this is more Amish paste with basil. I've got a little thing of parsley, and then we've got our peppers, shishito, cayenne, and bell peppers, some pinto beans, and more of that broccoli, and a kale, and a lone, oh no, where did it go? And a lone jalapeno right there. He just didn't fit into this box, so this is kind of a mishmash of things. And then I've got popcorn growing in here. It's very crowded, but we're just going for it anyways. And then I've got some lemon balm and comfrey, and then these are my broad beans, which I've never grown broad beans before. And to be truthful, I grew them for these flowers, which they're finally starting to bloom. But then hopefully we'll get some broad beans off of them as well. I've got some chamomile and another kale in here. And then these are the pinto beans. These are kidney beans. Pinto beans are in here, and they've got a little hyssop over there, and then another cherry. And then I wanted to show you guys over here what the plan is. So I've got some blueberries and currants along the fence line there, and then 2 apple trees so far. I'm gonna put a third one in front of where those bricks are. And then, oh, we got our sprinkler going on in here. That is where the glass greenhouse is going to go, is where that sprinkler is. The plan is for it to be about 12 by 24, so it is going to take up a pretty big chunk of this half of the garden. I have all of the windows, I have the doors. All I need to get is the wood for the framing, and then I was going to try to do that out of repurposed wood, but the more I thought about it, that's probably not a good idea. So I've got to invest in some good quality wood for that. With prices the way that they are, I'm not sure if we're going to get to that this year, but oh, I would love to. And then, oh, over here, I've got a black lace elderberry, and then we've got our wild elderberry over there behind that spruce tree. And then we've got our goats. I found someone getting rid of more spools on Facebook Marketplace, so I went and picked that up so that they can have more climbing structures and stuff to play on there. And we just keep putting it off, but we still need to make the gates for the other 2 pastures so we can block those off so that we can do some pasture rotation in here. But so far the goats are really loving the space, and they're also loving all of the knapweed that's everywhere. So we try to pull a handful or 2 or 3 or an armful of it and bring it back to them multiple times a day to try to combat how much knapweed we've got growing in over here. As you can see, things have changed a whole lot since the last time you've been here, building a bunch of the garden boxes, which again I did out of those 2x4s that I picked up from somebody's backyard, and then from the cedar boards that I had the person deliver from when they took down their old fence. We're loving it here. Every day we look at each other and we just, at some point during the day, just look and said, we're so glad that we moved here and working on making this space our home. It's changed a lot. It's going to continue to change, but we are just so thankful for this journey and to have this ability to provide for our family a little bit more. If you love what you saw, and I promise I'll update more, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you'll be notified for when I do post new videos, which hopefully will be a little bit more regular coming up here pretty soon. I did want to tell you guys though that I got a job at a local nursery so that I could submerge myself into zone 4-5 living, and to really get a good grasp and handle on what types of perennials grow here, and to get a better idea of what the seasons are like here from like an expert opinion and experience, so that we can be as successful as possible here on the homestead. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll chat next time.